Wasif, always on time. You're awesome, dude. How are you feeling today? Cybernetic Possum, what's up, my dude? My man, my cybernetic man. Hello, Silver Starlight. Thank you for coming to the live first impressions. Ren Phoenix, giving the early shout out in Discord. I saw that. We're gonna get started pretty soon. Just give a couple minutes, people to jump in. I heard the game isn't super long, so we're gonna be working on Natural Explorers after the first impressions. Nice, you edited some tile sets for efficiency. Very cool. Path of the Stream, what's up? How are you feeling this morning? Or whatever time it is for you there. What time is it for you there? So I tried to start this game in full screen, but it won't full screen. I think it was made in Game Maker Studio 2. Hey, baby. Slurpees by popular demand. Alright, let's get the party started. Other music brought to you by OC Remix. Rin loves it. He loves it, everyone, don't worry. Alright, so jumping into the demo, we get the splash screen, but it just goes straight to this. My first suggestion is to make this splash screen the battle, or the actual background. That's why we're drinking coffee, guys. I need this really bad. It's early. My first suggestion is to use this splash screen as your main background, your title art. Until you have better title art, it's better than this black screen. Because this looks pretty cool. We can minimize this now. I mean, that looks pretty cool. And you should just keep that as your title art until you find better title art. This game is called A Matter of Time Demo. It's version 1.01, I think. I downloaded the most recent version of this game this morning. When I was sent this game, it was version 1, and I checked this morning and it's been updated to version 1.01. Link is in the description below if you want to download the demo, as well as other relevant links for Haywire Game Studios. He is a Patreon backer at the $20 tier. If you're interested in getting your game played for live first impressions, then the Patreon backer tier is there, patreon.com/driftwoodgaming. Thank you to all my backers. You guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and pause this music and jump into this project right now. This is pretty simple, pretty basic. You use WASD to move around. You're going to press P or right click to interact, and left click is going to be our attacking, and we can space to dash kill. We click on enemies while we're dash killing to select them. I don't know what that means yet, but we're going to find out. Begin. Okay. I'm sure it's going to take a minute to get the audio right. In fact, I should probably... I don't know. We'll give it a chance. Oh, wait, it's going fast automatically. The temple here was abandoned thousands of years ago. James, You will likely encounter some old guardians and new inhabitants of this ancient place, all of which will be hostile, of course. Yes, unfortunately. This is all automatic, which this is my second suggestion. James, you will be doing the groundwork while I advise from the ship. Good luck. Be safe, James. Make this wait for input. Just make this wait, so that the player has to either skip it as fast as they want. I'm beaming you to the surface. Locate the nearby temple. Make it wait for input so the player can skip through it quickly if they don't want to read it. I mean, it's very short, but also if they want to read it and they're trying to read it, but it's going too fast for them, it's going to frustrate them a lot. So change that from an auto run to a wait for input. Just make it stay on that text until the player presses the button to continue. Okay, I like WASD. Okay. It says dash to do, or space to do a dash kill, but the game is making me right click to do a dash skill. So you might want to update the options. This game is early version. It was kickstarted on Kickstarter. It was trying to raise $600 and it raised like over $1,300. So it definitely has potential, and people are taking a liking to at least its early looks of this project. And it's been kickstarted, but it has some extended goals. That's why this video is out here, to get some more publicity for the video, or for the game, and also to okay. It's very frustrating. My ISP drops me. Okay, path of the stream, can you let me know like what I was doing when the stream dropped? I don't know how far back I have to go. We see Drifty click and it goes away. 30-second stream death. Okay. So 30 seconds ago, I basically just started it. We can start this from the beginning. I'll put a timestamp in the video. This game is by Haywire Studios. And it was kickstarted on Kickstarter. It looks like it was made in Game Maker Studio 2. This game was trying to raise $600 to get kickstarted. It was successfully kickstarted. And I think it's got like $1,300 something. $1,300 US raised. So I'm using WASD to move. And left click to attack. Right click is to dash. Does it take any damage? No, but it takes my stamina to dash. So these slimes are kicking my butt. And it said right click to interact, but nothing seems to be interactable yet. When I right click, it just dashes me around, so there's some confusing elements there. Also, I'm not sure if this tile was supposed to be like that, or you're supposed to have 4 across, or what the deal is right there. Maybe this is just a weird looking bridge. It would be really cool if you add full screen support. It would be awesome to see full screen support. The slime seems to have come directly out of the water, which is fine, because it's a slime. The little lighting engine seems pretty neat. What's in this tent? Can I do anything in this tent? Do I right click? What about space? So the options need to be updated to let the player... Okay, you're getting close now. This looks like the temple courtyard. Alright. Once again, with all of your events, even though that was timed beautifully, with all of your events, you should wait for input, unless there's a specific cue in the audio. The hitbox seems to be pretty close, like, you kind of have to get used to it, because I've been taking hits. I'm about to die, but yep, we're going to see what happens when you die. You're getting close now. Looks like the temple courtyard. There was something about O and P. Right, okay, so if you press O, it's attack, and P is... Okay, so O is the left click, and P is the right click. Seems to be working like that. Christ History, how are you doing? Heartless Angel, thanks for joining, both of you guys, you gals, you peoples, you beautiful faces. Oh gosh, the hitbox is pretty tough. When I swing forward, it's like you have the same art for swinging forward. Look how when I'm facing forward and I'm swinging, it's like I'm swinging the sword through myself. That doesn't make any sense. You need to change that art right there. If you swing like this, that looks right. Of course, the character gets stuck on that frame. This is just our walking animation, so that's fine, now that I notice. But that actually works fine, whatever. That looks okay. That's been mirrored. And down looks fine if the hitbox goes down. But when you go upward, I'm sure the hitbox seems to be working. But the sword looks like it's swinging down still. So you have to design the art. You got to draw and use the art for the sword to swing up. I mean, that looks funny. Looks very funny. That's the first thing that you can be called out on. Like, what? Why am I swinging the sword through myself? You know what would be cool is if you use a particle engine. And I have tutorials on how to add particles to this if you're using Game Maker Studio 2. It looks like you're using GMS 2. Let me know. Let's look at some of the depth issues here. So if we run down, you see the wall is listed as a ground layer. So you need to change the layering on the walls to be a higher layer, but still obstruct. So that this will stop the player, but the player's feet won't look like they're running on the wall. This is a simple layer fix. You can just copy the tile set they're using for the ground and then give it a higher, is it higher or lower? You change the depth on it. You change the depth to something lower, which will draw it in front, right? The higher the depth or the deeper the depth, the farther away it is. So if you subtract from the depth, the wall will go forward in front of it. So just like this top beam, the walls also need to be on that layer. However, if you have a problem where the player's running through the walls because they're at the top layer, you can also make invisible collision events so that the player will not be able to walk through the walls. The same thing with this. It looks really funny when you run to the side and you're running like on the walls. So even though there's collision, if these walls are drawn on the correct layer, they'll be blocked by whatever obstruction you need to have blocked, but also they won't draw in front of it. So it looks like he's climbing, because you're trying to use these as depth, right? But when you go like this, it looks like he's not farther deep in the map. It looks like he's climbing up the... So it's just a depth issue and layering, which I'm sure you can fix eventually. It's an early version game. So I'm looking for things like that. I'm going to find those things, the way that you can improve the project, and I'm sure chat will have a few suggestions too, hopefully. What happens if you right-click and hit space while you're still moving forward? Nothing. Space doesn't appear to do anything, actually. What if I go right-click and P? They seem to be on the same global timer, so that's done right. Well, oh yeah, it's done right. Your transfer event seems to be fine. I like the rain. I like the ambience. Whoa! Oh, what are these traps? Okay, the black holes are like fire traps. I'm gonna die again. That's fine. I wonder what this dash thing is on the bottom, because we have stamina for our dash. But what does the dash thing actually do? Sign temple. How do I get through those traps? Oh, I dash. Okay, obviously. To get through the traps, you just dash. So the hitbox for the sword is pretty small in all 4 directions. It would be a little bit more, I mean, you should be a little more generous with the hitbox. Like, it's okay if you are, like, it looks like you hit the enemy and the sword is still a little far from the player, or, you know, the creature. But when the sword is, like, almost touching them, and you're still getting hit, or the hitbox is not connecting, it's usually a bad thing. What I'm getting, and what I'm alluding to, is be more generous with your hitbox placements. So even if the player's not going to be frustrated if they have a little bit of extra range than it looks like they have, but they will be frustrated if they have a little bit less range than it looks like they have. So I understand you need to have some sort of difficulty. You're inside the temple, it's going to get pretty dark. Watch out for the guardians, they aren't. Once again, all of your show text, wait for input. Change that. Wait for key press. So obviously we already talked about the animation needs to be swapped. The pink bar is building up. That probably means as we get more kills, or we build up our dash somehow, that could be more clear too. You could have particle, or you could have sprites drop, and then the player can pick those things up to build up their dash instead of automatically assigning it. It'll give the player more interactivity. Oh, we got something, let's get it. Okay, what did it do? Oh, it seemed to make this bar bigger. I don't know what that does, but it was cool. Especially if you throw some particle effects between attacking and picking up particles, or picking up dash boosts, which can be sprites that have particles. And you don't have to draw any fancy particles. Simple pixels with more movement, it's not going to generate too much more workload. One thing I did like about this project is it's extremely small. The entire project's like 15 megabytes or something like that. One thing that I didn't really like is the fact that you have to use an installer to get the program running. I mean, obviously I understand you want your software to look official and be official and have an installer, but I'm sure that you can make this an executable without actually having to install it. Star Mage, what's up? How is your day going, Star Mage? How's your project? Can we go down here? So this appears to be like a dead end or something. I'm getting some sound effects. It kind of sounds like an elevator or something. There's another skeleton. We fight with our reverse sword. Oh, it's a heal spot. That's cool. Good sound design on that. That sounded neat. Another dead end. So I take it this is the way to go. Alright, so it gets a little bit more dark, which I'm okay with. I mean, as long as it's not this for a long period of time. Oh, another good suggestion is when the player comes up to the top of the map, make some sort of opacity so that this can be sort of see-through. Instead of 100% visibility, you can either make it, if the player's object is at a certain spot in the screen, or actually not just on, yeah, if the player's object is at a certain spot on the screen based on the view, you can have this turn see-through so that the player is always visible even when you're behind your HP and stamina bar. That would be a quality of life improvement. In fact, these take up a good amount of the real estate. You can even minimize the border on your HP and stamina bar. I like the artwork, but I think you could make them a little bit better. Obviously, we're just looking for ways to improve the project. I'm not saying anything to upset you, anybody who's making a game in general when I do these first impressions. I'm hoping you find what I have to say helpful, and I mean it in a good way so that we can improve all of the games that we put out there. This might be the way to go. I like how we're restoring the HP. It would be really neat if I press a button and I have a little picture event pop up that gives me inventory or character, so that I have some sort of progression. I feel like the player needs some sort of progression. I'm not saying you have to implement like a full leveling system, but what's the point of killing these guys, right? What's the point of, why should I kill any of them? Why should I even fight them? Why don't I just run from all of them? You know what I'm saying? Like what? It turns out a dragon guards are coveted relic. Wait for input would be really nice. Now, if you gave some sort of, is he going to do anything? Oh, he's shooting fireballs. If you gave some sort of incentive for the player to fight enemies, can I fight this guy? Oh, okay, I can hit him from there. The player needs some sort of incentive. And you come up and you hit him. The hitbox is a little bit wonky. Okay, so dashing through some things, it's very generous. Okay. If you dash through some objects, you still take damage. But you can dash through traps and through enemies, I think. Let's try to dash through these enemies after the fireballs. See, we took damage from the fireball, but we can dash through the slimes, which I agree with. Some things you shouldn't be able to dash through. Most things, maybe. Lots of enemies are spawning. We're about to die. And the hitbox is a little bit difficult. If you wanted to add more challenge, you could make it so that instead of completely filling the player's life, they give you like half, 50% of your life. Of course, that's an easy thing to implement. Just change the variable. Ouch. Obviously, I think this game has potential, but it still needs a lot of work and some sense of progression. It's weakened. Dash kill the dragon. How do I dash kill the dragon? Like, how did it get weakened? I don't see, like, okay. I'm not able to hit it. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. Okay, when you die, it restarts the level. This ought to test your abilities. We go up. We can't hit him. We can't hit him. He's out of range. So what's happening at this point? What's the player supposed to do at that point? So he throws out fireballs and he eventually gets faster with the fireballs. We still can't hit him. We still can't hit him. Like for, okay. Nothing. Our reverse sword can't hit him. We're hitting ourselves, it looks like. Check your game sound. Our ears are dying trying to hear the game's music. Okay. Well, the game is all the way up, but I do have OBS low. I'll turn it up so you can hear the music. It's not super loud. Let me know if it's too loud. You hear a lot of rain and ambience. See, I can't reach the dragon. Can I dash kill? I don't know how. Whoa, I pressed spacebar. And what happened? Is that my dash meter? Everything's going slow. Okay. So I pressed spacebar at a specific time in my dash meter. I guess that's the slow time dilation thing that's going on. Now we can hear the background music. Okay. Some projects have super loud music, so I keep it turned down. I'd rather have to turn it up. Dash meter. Can I hit him? You know what sucks? The player is also slowed down in the dash meter. You should let the player keep his full speed while everything else slows down. Like in the new Mega Man 11. How they have that, like, gear system where you can slow down time, but everything slows except for Mega Man. You know, Mega keeps his speed. Mega? I've never called him Mega. I've always, until recently. So there's a dragon roar. The sound is okay. I don't know how I'm supposed to hit him. The entire game runs slower, so this is a corny way. It's not the best. I understand the idea and I love the idea, but the execution on the dash system isn't. It doesn't give the player the feel of more power or more control. It just makes it look. It makes it feel like the game lags. Dash system. Let the player run around at the same speed. I understand you'll have to change how you implement it. It makes it a little bit more hard, right? You change everything based on a variable instead of time delta time, or however you're using it. I can't hit the dragon. It seems like I was able to at one point in the fight early on, but I don't know if it's a hitbox range issue or what the deal is. Or maybe you just have to survive long enough. Can't seem to, this dragon. Can't seem to figure it out, really. And the hitbox on the enemies is, the player needs a longer range, is what I'm getting at. And when you face forward, change the sprite image so that it looks like we're actually hitting upwards, not downwards. I know I've mentioned that, but it's a constant thing. Because, like, we're missing, but it's, right? That's frustrating. This is frustrating. Swinging the sword backwards, missing the dragon. How do I... This doesn't give me more... That doesn't make it fun. I don't even want to use the dash system. It just makes the game look like it's lagging. If the player was moving at the same speed while everything else was slowed down, I would definitely love that. They'd be like, yeah, heck yeah. Let's just, everything else is slower. I have super speed, basically. I'm so fast that time seems to have slowed down, but it just slows everything down, including the player. What's up, Craig? How you feeling today? Unpro Pro. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you, Heartless. Yeah, I don't know how to beat the dragon, really. I don't understand how to beat the dragon. I can dodge attacks and maybe get all the heals. All of the heals. Doc Weeze, how are you feeling this morning? Or afternoon, or whatever time it is where you're at. Ouch. The same thing I was talking about, the opacity. Because your buttons and HP bar and stuff, they take up a lot of real estate. Especially when you're trying to dodge a bunch of collision boxes. So, check the player's position, and if the player object is within, and it's a simple conditional switch here. When you're drawing this on the draw, if you're doing GUI or draw layer, whatever event you're doing to draw this, just make a condition so that when it draws, if the player's X and Y is greater than, less than whatever number of pixels you're using, it looks like a 16 by 9, so I could probably figure it out. If you're 1080, 720. 1280 by 720. That's what it looks like. So we'll say this is probably like around 600. So in GameMaker Studio 2, X and Y start in the top left. 0, 0. Am I right on that? I think so. I've been playing a lot of RPG Maker in V. I know that's how it works in V. I think at one point I was like, oh, so why is it backwards in GMS 2? So I'll have to refresh the XY location thing. But the concept is the same. Right? The concept is check the player's XY location, and if they are in this location, greater than X, Y, greater than X, less than, actually it would be less than equal to something X, and probably greater than equal to something Y, then make this layer invisible. Or instead of invisible, at least draw with opacity. And that's a one line. After you draw the condition that you're drawing is only one line. It's weakened, dash kill the dragon. Okay, get away from me, slime. Oh gosh, great, that was perfect. Greater than equal to X and less than equal to X plus width. You could do something like that, yeah. But you get the idea. The concept is check the player's location. If they're in this spot, then on the draw, you draw this see-through, right? You change the opacity of this. The same with your dash meter and especially your HP bar. So the player is never completely hidden, right? The player can't see where he's at. Obviously, you can use the lighting, but we're talking about quality of life improvements that we're everything I could possibly give you as an idea to improve your project. I feel obligated to say, even if it may. I don't think I said anything real harsh, right? But even if something sounds harsh, I'll just say it because, it's better me say it than some pissed off 12-year-old, right? Because then you won't even give that person any credibility. And they won't understand why they don't like it. Most of the time, they'll just be like, this sucks. But really, there's just a few things that need to be changed, and it could be really fun. I wish I could hit him. So you just dodge for a long enough period, and then it'll say the dragon is weakened. Oh, what did I press? Spacebar. I really wish the dash meter didn't slow down the player. It just lags the game. I mean, it's not really lagging the game. It's just slowing the frame rate, right? I think it's just adjusting the frame rate so everything in the entire game. It's like a very easy way to do time dilation, but the problem is it's not a fun mechanic. It just makes the game feel like it goes slower. Okay, this weekend, dash kill. I'm pressing dash now, and I'm swinging. Yep, I did the dash kill, right? Space, P, O, P. Oh, you actually have to use the keyboard. You have to use the keyboard. So, check this event, and if you're letting the player dash with right click, then you should also make a condition in here that checks to see if the player is using right click, not specifically P. And if you're letting the player left click to swing, you should check every time that the player is left clicking, not just O. So you need to add some exceptions for every possible way the player could be playing. So right here, using the mouse, you can't beat it at all. But you can if you use the keyboard. But it's very confusing because they appear to be doing the same thing. Press O, click left click, press P, right click. All right, so make that, like, either whatever method the player plays, make the same outcome happen. I did look at the controls path of the stream, and that's what I'm talking about. The relic should be very close. Is this the relic? Good job, James. Not bad for your first mission. Let's get you back to the ship. Yeah! cool. I love the music. Music, the sound effect, the rain effect, the lighting in the game is good. Most of the part. I mean, it gets kind of dark at some point. And this kind of beam. You know what you should do? Is like beam the player out or something. And that's it. Nice. Developer, Cameron Coggins, Camcog. Game artist, Steven Olberg, aka Jackal ZXA, Jacob Van Bendigen. Music by Zero Cakes. Great job, Zero Cakes. I thought the music was great. Mott, Jesse Borges. And the Kickstarter backers. This game has been kickstarted, but it has a long way to go. I think there is potential here, but it's got a lot of simple fixes that needs to be done. Some layering issues. Wario Land. I think we can play through it quicker now. Yeah, that's the demo. It's just the first intro to, like, it's a tech demo. It's like, this is the style of game, it's gonna be like that. I think we should go through it one more time. Everything that wasn't anything. Okay, so let's begin the mission. At the beginning of the game, you have a splash screen that looks like this. Haywire Studios when you start the executable. And my first suggestion, I'm going to go through it again because it's very quick and I'll be able to do it faster this time and consolidate everything, and I'll link to it in the video or in the description. If you're interested in getting the demo yourself, it is in the description. Also, the Haywire Games YouTube page, website, and Twitter is available. So if you're interested in these guys, it's available. They have a control right here. Space to trigger the dash kill doesn't actually do that. I had to press O and P. So update this to reflect the actual code that you're checking when fighting the dragon. I like how you're dropping these to simulate traveling through space. That was interesting. Wait for keyboard right here. We're right at the approximate location of the temple. The temple here was abandoned thousands of years ago. James, you'll likely encounter some old guardians and new inhabitants of this ancient place. Wait for keyboard press. Definitely want to wait for keyboard press. All of which will be hostile, of course. Yes, unfortunately. So also, since we've already gone through it and read it, I would like to be able to press enter, 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 and skip the second time through, right? And the first time, I missed some words at the end. So if you wait for keyboard press, instead of just skipping, assuming that everyone has the same reading speed, which is not true, it would work a lot better. So of course, change the graphics so when you're facing forward that he doesn't swing downward. That looks weird. And give some incentive to fight things. There's no incentive to fight anything. You can just skip all the fights. So my suggestion for that is let the player press like E or R or something. Let the player press a button and open up an equip menu. Let enemies drop things that will increase their attack power, that will reduce the amount of damage they take. Something like that. Let the enemies drop things that will fill up the dash bar, instead of just filling up the dash bar by killing them, and very boringly so, because you see how fast we can play through it once the player knows how to. You go here, there's no incentive to fight, so why should I even fight, right? Give the player some sense of progression. It's so important to apply some kind of progression. Even if they don't need it to beat the game. We got stuck on a block there. It's probably just my fault pressing down. Yeah. Nope, it actually does get stuck. Okay, if I go to the bottom, and I've got to the max depth, let me test this. Is it a pixel that's causing a collision, or is it just some weird artifact? Come on, get out of the way. If I go here and I press left, do I get stuck? I do. So somewhere along the line, there's a collision box bug right here. You see this? This shouldn't happen. There shouldn't be that. Unless you draw something to specifically show that there's rocks coming out or something. There's some layering issues with the wall in the next area. There's a lack of incentive to explore. There's a lack of incentive to kill anything because there's no sense of progression. I like that you're using different lighting. We went up, and that was the right way, but I wanted to go down to see if there was something I missed. Maybe there's more. See how there's also a collision bug right here? You get stuck on the wall. That'll frustrate a player if they're being chased by creatures. So fix that collision thing. Expand the player's hitbox, their attack, their sword hitbox, and maybe reduce their the player's hitbox that takes damage. So you're a little more generous to the player. Make the game more fun so that fighting is not just a losing proposition. Maybe give the player some better knockback. You know, when the player hits the enemy, make them knock back farther. And the bigger the enemy, the less knockback they're going to have. So I can see how this could be a little puzzle, you know, because it's in the dark and you can't see where you're going. But if you go up first, like coincidentally, you're either going to go up or down. And if you do decide to go up first, then you're going to quickly get through this part and it's going to seem like nothing. But if you go down, then you're going to get lost and you're going to run an endless circle and it'll be like, where does this map end? I don't understand this puzzle. But really, it's just up to random chance what the player decides to do. That was good placement because you let the player know that there's a way right there. You put a Ugandan knuckles over here. We have no incentive to fight anything. It would be nice to want to fight these. Like, oh, I better grind a little bit because I'm about to fight the dragon. And if I get, if you do a level system, if I get more max HP, I'll take less damage. Or if the dragon's too hard, you don't have to put all the healings down. You could just make the player have to get experience and new items that'll reduce the damage they take. Double their HP and cause the fireballs to do 2, but if they have like a cloak drop, a flame cloak or something, that'll play a little bit of a particle effect when you walk if you have it on. I mean, there's so many things you can add to it, then it'll take 1 damage, right? So the game has potential. It could be really fun, but right now it's got too many bugs to be considered really fun, unfortunately. So I can't hit the player with left click, but if I go up and press O, if I use O and P, it seems to work at a specific point in the game. Because when it says the player, or the dragon is tired or whatever, I forgot what it says. But the dragon, it tells you, use your dash meter to attack the dragon. If you don't press the buttons on the keyboard, it doesn't work. So if I'm using mouse the entire time, if I use the mouse the entire time, I get used to playing that way. I'm not going to jump over and use the keyboard intuitively, and I'm not going to understand why I'm out of range and I can't hit the dragon. That when it comes time to use the dash kill, you have to use the keyboard. It seems kind of arbitrary to force the player to use a specific control scheme, especially when you're offering multiple control schemes, right? And I wish that it would be more dynamic. The dragon should move around a little bit. Have him move around a little bit. Make him go left to right even. Something simple. Start small. And then have him go forward. And when he goes forward, let the player hit the dragon. So it's not just a dodge game. I'm not constantly on defense. I'm able to feel like I'm making some sort of progress on the fight, you know? What is this game made with? It looks like Game Maker. I could show you basically how to do something like this. It's weakened. Dash kill. So if I press space and try to dash kill, it doesn't. Damn it. But if I press the O and P, that's how it works. Right? Or was it just coincidence that it worked that time? I don't understand. I don't understand, because now it's not even working with the keyboard. The coding is pretty simple. The coding is not hard. You can totally get it. Maybe not on the first day, but you can wrap your head around 1 or 2 lines the first day and then go to sleep. And then when you wake up, it'll be, okay, I understand how to do this, but I don't know how to do anything else. Okay, you learn 1 or 2 new things. Then the next day, you learn 1 or 2 new things. You don't just pick it up and be like, I'm going to learn it, and you learn everything in one sitting. You pick up a little bit this day, you pick up a little bit the next day, and then after months and months of learning little things, keep in mind you'll forget things too. You're absolutely going to like, oh, I did know how to do that, and then I forgot how to do that. But the help file is so good that you can reference everything. And learning to code isn't memorizing lines and memorizing methods and stuff. Learning to code is figuring out how to search for the syntax. Coding, in general, is basically just learning how to find the syntax. Do you know how to search a help file? Do you have the basic skills to copy-paste? Do you have the ability to research something on the internet? Like, these are basic skills, and if you can learn these skills, you can do all kinds of things, including coding. You don't have to be a mathematician. You don't have to even be very smart, to be honest. It's really about being creative. Coding is a creativity thing. How creative are you at coming to at executing something? Like, yeah, you can put a pixel, you can make a piece of art and draw it to the screen. Do you know how to make it move? Well, it's pretty easy, but how do you want to make it move? There's several ways to make it move, right? So it's up to your creativity. So I can't attack the dragon just yet, because immediately when it tells you to attack the dragon, you're being chased, and he spits fire, like bang, 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 like really quick, because the timing seems to match up. It's like, go attack the dragon, and you get up to him, you go pop, 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 you get hit like 5 times. So the timing's off on that. Basically, this is a frustrating part of the game. The game is frustrating, but it has potential. It just needs to get these things polished out. And if you do these things, you will have a fun game. If you do the things that I've mentioned in this video, the game will be a lot of fun. It'll feel more polished. Obviously, we're not looking for a lot of polish in a tech demo, I understand that, but mechanics and execution of those mechanics are what's important. There's no sense of progression. There's no sense of, like, the fight is just like a dodge fight, right? It's a dodge game. And the tutorial is misleading. It's looking for specific buttons on the keyboard, apparently, or there's something else I don't understand, which is likely. And I don't know. I did manage to beat it somehow last time. I don't really know what I did that was different than this time, because I tried to use the keyboard after it said the dragon is weakened. Now's the time to attack. And I did the dash meter, which slows down the entire game, which is not the way to do time dilation. You want to slow down everything but the player. You want to give the player a sense of empowerment, not enfeeblement. When you slow the player down, like, yeah, you give the player more reaction time, but you want the player to not feel like their system's lagging. When we slow down the game, we want the fireballs to move slower, the enemies to move slower, the dragon's wings to flap slower, the rain to fall slower, but we want the player speed to remain almost the same or completely the same. So it gives the illusion, time dilation, attack, attack. See, I'm pressing it, but it's not doing it. If I press O and P, Does that work? Yes, you have to press spacebar, O, and P. You have to specifically use keyboard commands, unless I'm just not doing it right with the mouse and keyboard. So when that happens, you have to be pressing forward with the W, you have to be facing the dragon, you have to press spacebar and a combination of O and P, one or the other or both, but I was spamming W, spacebar, and O and P, starting with the spacebar to do the time dilation, so that's the combination that beats the dragon. But it took a lot of trial and error to figure that out, and it wasn't a rewarding experience, really. The dragon fight would have been a lot better if it was moving around a bit. If we got hits on the dragon throughout the fight, not just at the end, we dodged enough, oh, we hit the dragon in his nose and he falls over, he bursts into flame. Some particle effects would be nice for when you hit an enemy, when you dash, some sense of progression by giving the player the ability to level up, and they can either deal 1 additional damage when they hit a certain threshold or take 1 less damage, make everything go up by a factor of like 3 or 4 or 5 on HPs and how much HP is pulled. That way you give increments. Like obviously if all of your hits do 1 damage and all of your dragon's hits do 1 damage, then doing 2 would be like kind of overpowered. So it's easy fix, right? Change all the variables, make the dragons do 10 damage with their fireball, but 10 times the player's HP. Make everything hit 10 times harder, but implement a system where the player can press a button and open up a little menu and collect or buy from a shopkeeper somewhere 1 piece of armor. It doesn't have to be complex. It could be as weapon, armor, or something like that. Or if you have new skills, you can let the player select a skill to be available only when 1 is selected at a time. So like player has a button, opens up a menu, it shows weapon, it shows armor, it shows skill. Very, very simple. Or even it can show level. And as the player levels up, you can let the player customize their character. They can put the point into attack. So now instead of 1, they're hitting for 2. Or defense, so instead of getting hit for 10, they're getting hit for 9. Right? And then you could even have a low max level 10, so that they're on par with the way it plays right here. Let the player feel powerful, lower the damage box of the player so he gets hit less often, increase the impact the player has from hitting enemies by increasing the knockback they get from hitting the enemies, increase the size of the player's sword's hitbox so that they can hit the enemies from farther. Players will be more forgiving if they... That's funny. Stream died, and then it says stream resumed. Yeah, no, the stream keeps going down. My ISP is trolling me hard. ISP is trolling me. Something's trolling me. I don't know when the stream went down. Hopefully you guys... It seems to be going down for like 20-30 seconds at a time. Doc Weez asked if they finished installing my fiber. No, we haven't. It's not even available yet. They're just putting the lines up. But it should be available in 2 to 3 weeks. And then I'll have fiber. And maybe I won't have this issue. I mean, my upload speeds are fine. It's just the dips in service when it goes to nothing being sent. Because I'm not uploading a high bit rate. I'm only uploading 4 to 5 megabit per second with a 10 megabit per second bandwidth, right? 100 down, 10 up is what I'm supposed to have. I'm only actually using 5 of the up, but it still seems to just drop out every now and then. It's very frustrating, and I apologize to you for any time the stream does that. All right, let's move on to some RPG Maker. I kind of feel like explaining some stuff in GMS2, but I'll probably need to update the engine. That's not what I had planned. Let's just do what I had planned. All right. What did you guys think of the project? Any constructive feedback for the devs? A matter of time. Drop frame 0, so the recording got everything, but the live stream, because of my ISP, probably dropped some of it. Well, Steve says the mechanics are good, but the hitboxes are essential. Yeah, work on the hitbox. Also, the attacking upward, making the attack down, is that something you should get on, like immediately fix that. Easy. Change the sprites. You forget where this music's from? This is ocremix.org. Let me bring it down a little bit because I had it a little bit higher for the game. Let me know if the music's too loud. Star Mage agrees with everything I had to say. Thank you, Star Mage. I agree with those people who agree with me. OC Remix should sponsor me. Well, they let me stream most of their music. My videos still get copyright claimed, even though it's supposed to be fair usage, and I use them under fair usage, and it's educational content, so there's extra fair usage in there. But every now and then you get a greedy company claiming stuff. Just what you got. YouTube's kind of messed up in that way. Jim Sterling's funny, man. Yeah, I love Jim Sterling. Doc Wee says he goes on about copyright. He does. I think he invented a copyright double lock system or something where you just have, like, he doesn't monetize his videos. He just goes through Patreon. And so when his videos get claimed, they become monetized. And he's like, you know, what? Why is this? So in order to keep a video that gets locked in, like, make the companies fight over the revenue so none of them get any revenue, it just stays in like a neutral area for YouTube to hold on to forever. He puts like different music at the end that's copyrighted, like old music. I forgot what song he actually uses. Copyright deadlock. That's right, Alexander Burkle, yeah. That's hilarious. It's like, well, fine. You guys fight over it then. He's... He puts in 2 to 3 copyrights on purpose so they can fight each other over the ad revenue. Yeah, that's funny. Did I ever do anything else with Game Engine 01? Not really. I know, yeah, I did mention it, but it doesn't seem to have... It doesn't seem to be that requested 01 game creator. Yeah, it is Earthbound music. So we got a little time. Let's continue the project. My project has a lot of work to get done. At the end of yesterday's stream, we worked on our experience curves, and we've got them figured out so that they're more fair and like progressional. Like you every level costs a little bit more experience, but you start real quick. No, 001 is great. They just updated it and it lets you do more things, customize things. I like 001. I'm not amazing at it. I know how to use it on a fundamental level. You and Echo were the inspiration for a lot of people to keep going in RPG Maker. Probably. Are we going back to the experience? No, we got it. We got it figured out. The experience formula is, we did it. We done did it. The experience formula works fine. That's where we left off. We're actually going to probably, we could make another monster. We have 6 now, right? Did I update the battle events? Let's check our common events. 5, no we didn't. So let's update this so that if dungeon level is set to a variable of 6, then it'll start a fight with the level 6 enemies. So instead of the tunnel rats, we will start a fight with the shadow bats. And if they win, we run a common event, the quick loot, and if we lose, we show an animation and take the player to the beginning instead of game over. Wait. Oh, okay, there's a little problem there. This is actually the tunnel rat. And then the last one is the shadow bat. There we go. Making new enemies takes a while because I like to give custom items, custom skills, and finding an animated battler for them. There's a lot of really good RPG makers out there who use MV. Most of you already know, but SRD has a lot of helpful tutorials. He has a lot of good coding stuff. He's not really active right now, and he says that he doesn't plan to be active, but he tweets out stuff every now and then, so follow some random dude. He's trying to hit 30,000. It'd be cool if he does. Echo607, she's got a ton of subs. I don't even know how many she's got. She doesn't need my shout out, but there you go. Yanfly Engine, that is a must subscribe. Please subscribe to Yanfly Engine. Okay, I suppose the best progress I could make on this project right now is to continue the linking of the assets I already have in game. We've got the systems in place for all of the events, and we have new maps to incorporate. So we should probably do that process and continue what we're doing. We've gone through 8 of the 15 maps that was sent to me by Cry's History. Thank you so much, Cry's. Cry's contacted me the other day and said that he or she is taking a little break from working on his or her game and asked me if I wanted them to make a graveyard map. Absolutely! I responded back as soon as I saw it, yes, yes, make me a graveyard map. That would be fantastic. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Looking at map 10, let's find where we would want to set our entrance and where we would want to set our exit point. Obviously, it's a mostly open area, so I feel like we need something to attract the player into this open area. We want the player to come over here. We could put a pixie right here. It would make sense. The light would attract the player. That way we can have our entrance right here and our exit over here. Or we can even push the wall back and make it farther over here. Go up and then make the player go down. I think making the exit right here would make the most sense. Let's put a pixie right here. Let's make our entrance this point and the wall, and make our exit over here. Right, and we'll throw some chests around. Okay, figured out what we're gonna do. Let's get this, go to the draw layer, and set that up. That will be our entrance. We will draw this. Like that. That'll be our exit point. Let's get the entrance and exit events. this is an exit, so we can copy this. Luckily, all of the entrance and exit events call the common events that are updated when we add and link new maps. So we don't have to specify each teleporter. We just need one that calls a common event for an entrance and one that calls the common event for entrance and one for exit as well. The transfer event is our common event. Here's our entrance. We modify them slightly with the move event. So if they go into the exit and say we don't want to exit, we skip if cannot move, but then we move them back down if they say no. So we'll have this one move down instead of up. But we keep it skip if cannot move. That way, if we forget and we put the player right here and we say move up, they don't get locked up because they're trying to move up on the ceiling and they can't, so that'll lock the game up. So in the off chance that we forget to change the move route, I keep it skip at all times. In order to incorporate the lighting engine that we're using, Tarax lighting, we have to have at least one event that has a torch or a light or something. And after you put the first on, it will use the plugin's default radius to put a light on the player and put a tint screen on the background. You can change the tint screen color if you want. All you have to do is make a plugin command, tint set, and then the hex color, and it will change the tint so that it's not completely black. So Tarax has been upgraded several times since its creation. Let's add some torches. Let's put one here, let's put one here, over there, one right there. And we're going to add some that are on the wall but not actually visible. So we put it there and then we just remove the actual graphic. This is a graphic we made in Sprite. We can copy this and put another one over here as well. And one right here as well. So it appears that there's a torch there, but it's not, the player's not looking directly at it, so we're not drawing it. We don't want a complete dark room, like Heartless said. Yeah, completely dark rooms are not any fun to move around, and they don't make for interesting visuals. A player with a super small light in a maze is terrible design. It'd have to be a small maze for it to actually work and not frustrate the player. It'll either be figured out very quickly or it'll get the player lost for a long amount of time. And that's not the result. That's not a consistent gameplay. Okay, we need to test it. Let's go ahead and create a player starting position here. Let's give us our dog, and we might as well bring Jinx along too, for fun. Maybe, Cries, you're making a graveyard map. Maybe you can incorporate the dog. We get our pet dog from the graveyard. Maybe not immediately, but it could be a pet cemetery. Oh no. No, it can't be. Scratch that. You can see how the torch right here works, and the lights right here work. It works as if there is a torch. You don't have to draw the torch. And I keep the entrance and the exit lit up so the player knows where their points to go are. But if the player decides to go up, we're going to put a pixie right here. And we're going to move this torch to, like, somewhere else. Because the pixie will also apply a light. So we're going to move this down, like so. And we're going to put a pixie light right here. And this can go right here. Yeah. We also need to set up our controller events in the maps. We have set it up in some. So this is just setting up a battle background, but on the events that have a pixie, they have a different controller event to turn on and off Turok's lighting. So let's find one of those. This one does not have a pixie, so these are all just battle back setting. Same thing here, this should just be battle back setting, but we don't have it here, so let's go ahead and copy the picture, or the controller event, paste it. Same thing with map number 4. Really just needs the controller event for battle background setting. Map 6 already has one. We have a pixie here. This one's different. This one sets the battle back, but it also tints the screen, which is unnecessary. This is just here for a placeholder. And it turns off a light, or it turns on a light if the switch is off, and then once the switch is turned on, it won't turn the light on automatically. So we need this, but we need it on a different switch. So we'll copy this event on map 6. We need to add a controller event to 7, 8, 9, and 10. But 10's will be different because we're going to put a pixie here. So 10's controller event, which we'll put right here, will check a new switch, Pixie Dust 4. If Pixie Dust 4 switch is off, then turn light on 4. We haven't made light on 4 yet, but we're going to. So we'll go back to here where we have our events. We'll copy this and paste it here. This is our placeholder, but this is for 4, not 3. And we are going to do a plug-in command, light off 4 here, once we get it. And we're going to control switch 4 to be on. So when we turn this switch on, it turns off the light manually, and it will only turn on the light with the controller event if the switch is still on, or switch is still off, rather. And we let the player know that they got a pixie dust, and we play a sound effect, and we give them the item. And then this switch pixie dust 4 is on, it'll be gone. So I think I need to look at map 6. Did I not switch this one over? This should be 3. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I checked that. This is for 3, 3, and 3. And then the other one, which was 2, what map was that on? This one is the 3rd one. We also need something like this, so we'll copy the light event for map 9 or 10 and put it here, because this is what we're actually referencing. But we have to specify this is light number 4. So this is light number 4. And this is checking switch number 4. We need to check light number 2 to make sure that it's not reading as switch number 1. I just forgot where I put it. Here's the first one, and it should be checking switch number 1, and it is. Right here, is it doing the same thing? Switch number 1, yes, all good there. Mini cave, where we have Jeff. Where did we put the second pixie? Here's the second pixie. This is light number 2. It's using pixie dust switch light number 2, but is this event using it? It is. Placeholder 2, not 1. This is light 2. It's using switch 2. Everything was right except for the name on this one. We still have a lot of placeholder maps. We are currently working on Cry's Histories maps to incorporate them and link them into the game. So let's test this map now. We'll walk around, we'll get a sense of how it looks. We need to do this controller, we already did it. Okay, great. Let's give it a shot. What is happening? Okay. You can walk around, we'll get a sense for the light. This music track has like sound in the background, I don't like that. I don't want that. Sounds like we're at a bar or something. Glass is clinking. Anyway. There's the pixie light. We need to change the layer of this sprite, of this thing. Or do we? The pixie could be on the other side of that. You know? We get a pixie dust, it disappears. We don't actually have to change the layering. We could. But the pixie may not always be facing towards the camera. You can still see it. Now we need to link How did my last video get claimed? 37 seconds was claimed by somebody. Let me look at it and show you. I've been editing it for the past 24 hours, like through YouTube's editing thing. I'll tell you who actually did it. A claimant named Dig Dis on behalf of the Sound System iLabel. And yeah, I'm just gonna show you. And it's been processing for a while. It takes a long time to process. I tried to remove the song it claimed, that's fair usage, and it didn't work. So then I tried to mute the video between 26:33 to 27:11. So mute the video to monetize it, but I don't have it monetized. I make nothing on this video, but they make everything because they claim 30-something seconds, 37 seconds of my 2-hour, 15-minute video. You know, I don't understand how that's the thing. YouTube, get your shit together, but whatever. The tools take forever. It takes all day to mute 37 seconds. Why does it take so long? I don't know. Sorry about that. I mean, you asked, so. Yeah, it's copyright free. And it was used under fair usage. And obviously I can contest that claim. But when you do that, you open yourself up to getting sued. I mean, they would have no grounds to sue me, but I don't want to deal with that. I just don't want to deal with it. And that's why they get away with this shit. Because people don't want to deal with that. And they know that they can push the little guy around. Eventually, if it happens enough, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to have to make videos, and there are people who will give me money to fight bullshit claims in court. There's an entire copyright fair use division of pro bono lawyers out there. But it's a lot of work, a lot of hassle, a lot of time. Is it worth it for $20, $30, $40 I'll make on the video? Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hate that they deactivate the chat. That sucks because, you know, you mute people's. It's basically suppression of free speech. It's suppression of our rights. But we are on a private platform. I need to change that cancel sound effect. Or the. Do I though? I don't know. We need to give the Doogie a battler. Let's give the Doogie a battler. The map seems to have linked correctly, so the test went fine. I made this class as a, or the actor, rather. It's sort of a joke. Somebody asked how to make a pet system, and then I was like, boom, there's a pet system, but I didn't actually really add it unironically, but I actually like it now. It's grown on me. The skeleton dog is a thing that I like. These are really good battlers from Hidden Ones, and they are available on the RPG Maker Web forums. You can get tons of great assets for free on RPG Maker Web. Okay. The lyrics, you lost me. Where's our doggo? Where's our doggo? I forgot what it was called. We gotta find our doggo and get him in the combat with us. Here's our doggo. Yeah, he gets a collar. There's our doggo. Do we have a face for the doggo? I don't know if I made a face for the doggo or if I downloaded it. I don't think so. Oh my gosh, we do. Doggo's got a face. When Doggo goes Super Saiyan, he becomes scorched. We're gonna make a Super Saiyan version of Doggo. What did I call him? Undead Dugera. Drifty, could you link your resources? They're all already linked on the RPG Maker web forums. So how's the game so far? I think it's good. It's coming along very nicely. Obviously it needs a lot of work. Needs a lot of work. There's bugs. There's nothing game breaking so far. Or at the moment, I should say. There's been plenty of things that have been game breaking. But basically you create your character. And you, actually, let's start, and I'll show you where the game actually starts, run through it. Let's link another map, and then I'll do that at the end. I'll link the game at the end. So we have 6 enemies with custom skills, items. Oh, what I was gonna do last episode, I forgot. I'm gonna make the rare drops for the enemies. The 1 out of 100 drops that grant the player new skills and abilities. So this will be armors. Let's do those. On the armor type general and the equipment type relic. And they will grant the player enemy skills. So let's make one for the haunting memories first. Let's look at the skills. We have claw, which is a basic attack, so I don't really see that as necessary. But what we could do is make the rare drop give all 3 of that enemy's skills. Wouldn't be that hard, so let's do that. Claw, unravel, and faint echoes. Let's make a new piece of armor, which is going to be a relic, and we're going to call it something that will be easily associated with the creature. So we'll say haunting memory something. Haunting memory soul stone. It makes sense, a soul stone. So then we can give it a rock or something like a stone image, and it makes it easy to find a graphic for it, because I have like 5 different types and they're all different colors to work for that. So let's go with like this. The haunting memory soul stone will be like this dark purple one. It's a relic the player can put on. Equipping this soul stone will grant the the player will grant you all the powers that the creature that this creature uses, has, possesses. Is that how you spell possesses? Equipping this soulstone will grant you all the powers that this creature possesses. Yeah. And in order, I could put the skills in here too, right? Let's go with IS. Is that how you put skills in? I think so. For the Yanfly's text commands. And the first one we use is Claw. Is that right? Let's see. Enemy, Haunting Claw, Unravel, and Faint Echoes. So skills, Claw, Unravel, and Faint Echoes. So 11, 12, and 10. 11, 12, and 10. Comma, IS 12, comma, IS 10. Now, in order to make this work, we have to go to the traits and add skill. We don't actually have to add the type because the type of skill that the enemies are using are the same type of skill that the player has. So, like if they had their own type, like enemy move, we would have to add that skill type. But we don't actually have to do that. We can just add those skills directly by going Claw, and then we copy, paste this, change the Claw to Unravel, copy, paste, change this to Faint Echoes. We could give it a price. We could also make it give some sort of state parameter changes. We don't need to make it give a passive state, but we could. I think granting the skills is enough, but we could also give it some sort of bonus specifically. This would give us max MP plus 50. Which we'll put comma, and then a period at the end. And when I use max MP, I can also do an icon if I wanted to. For max MP, we could go... I forgot which one I'm using for MP. 92, or am I using something different? Let's go with that. 92. I could look at another event that I'm referencing max MP or MP, which wouldn't be too hard. Let's do that. Go inside the player's house. I'm using a common event, I think. A gab window. I'm using 248 icon for MP. So let's do that, 248, just to be consistent. 248, max MP plus 50. So let's grant this to the player. We'll put the player right here. And then in the cave, actually we can grant this at the startup. We're just going to give it to the player at the beginning to test it. So we'll change our armors and grant the player the Haunting Memory Soulstone. Ooh, we got some dissonance, some bass dissonance. Yeah, gonna do some battles right now anyway. We're gonna put that on the player and then test battle. We gotta equip it. So we put the Haunting Memory Soulstone, and we can look at the description. Equipping this soulstone will grant you all the powers that this creature possesses: Claw, Unravel, Faint Echoes, and max MP plus 50. Now the creature doesn't actually have max MP plus 50, and we could actually give it to the player, or the creature, if we if we wanted to. Excuse me. Let's take a battle with a level 2 creature. and see if we get those abilities. Here we have Claw, and this is a basic attack. We need to make some skills for the undead dog. He's gonna be a party member. Right now, he's a copy of Edmund. So he'll just be healing and guarding and whatnot. If we go to abilities, I can see Faint Echoes is in there. Howl at the target, inciting traumatic thoughts, dealing emotional damage. So let's do that. Ooh. Can't have 10,000 skills then. And Unravel. Unleashes pent-up frustration on your opponent. I should probably add something to this. Inflicts the state of paralyzed. So he can become paralyzed and lose his turn with that. Get him, doggo. Dugera. So we have those 3 skills, and that works fine. Weapon Unleash, bang, bang. His basic attack is better. But we can put this on other people as well. So if we take this off of Edmund, we can put it on, say, Undead Dugera. And now our Dugera has those abilities. Let's fight something harder, level 3. Let's use an item to keep us alive right now. I want to change the sound effect on that. Now the dog can do Claw or Unravel and Faint Echoes. I mean, so that works. I don't need to continue this fight. That works fine. Let's award that to the enemy as a rare drop. So we're going to have 3 drops. We currently have 1, 2 made for this creature. All of them have their basic crafting sellable item that you get 50% of the time. We're going to add the 1 out of 100 drop for the relic, the soulstone. 1 out of 100. So 1% chance that you get a Haunting Memory Soulstone. This is going to add that Skinner box effect. So people want these skills that the creatures can use. Well, they're going to have to kill approximately 100 of that creature to get that. Obviously, that's not the only thing. You'll be getting experience. You'll be getting money, gold. You'll be getting the other items as well. But if you're going after that rare drop, you can't get it on the first try. 1% chance. And getting 1 may not be the end game. Maybe you want 3 or 4 of them, depending on how many party members you have. But let's continue that and make the soul stones for the other 5 enemies that we have. At this point, we can copy this and paste this and change the things, like the numbers here and the parameters and the skills that it's adding. So let's look at the second enemy, the Vile Worm. We get Sting, Entangle, and Vile Projectile. So if we look at Sting, that's 13. Entangle is 14. Vile Projectile is 15. So 13, 14, 15 on the second item. Go back to our armors. We change this to 13. We change this to 14. We change this to 15. And we can change this to something else. Let's say, the worm would probably have to be kind of quick. The fox might be the one that we get speed to. The worm will have attack bonus. So we'll say strength, because I've renamed attack to strength. Not 50 though, that's kind of crazy. We'll just say plus 5. Plus 5. We'll do 10. Strength plus 10. Yeah. But it won't be a haunting memory, it'll be a vile worm. Is that what I called it? Is that how I spelled it? Let's see. Vile worm, that's right. Go back to armor's vile worm soulstone. We don't want it to be purple. We'll make it like a green color. We'll make it this yellow green. We'll change the skill so that we get sting, entangle, and vile projectile. While we're at it, let's make the next one. Paste this. And this one is for the next enemy, the cave fox. This one gives Fang, Tailspin, and Outmaneuver. So armor, we change this to Fang, which is down at 20. Tailspin, which is 18. 20, 18, and 19. 20, 18, 19. So we'll change 20, 18, and 19. And the fox will give us agility. So we'll say speed plus 10, because that's there. Change this back to 0. We also need to change the icon, right? So 248 is not going to be strength, and 248 is not going to be agility. So for strength, I'll use this one, easy, 34, and agility, I'll use 38. So we'll change this to 34. We'll change this one to 38. We'll change this to Cave Fox, is that what I called it? Yeah. Let's make the Vorpian next. The armor soulstone. This is the Vorpian soulstone, and this will be a. We'll make it this darker colored one like that. And the Vorpian has different skills, of course. Take care, Craig. We'll see you. Welcome back, Path. We're adding some new relics to the game, some different armors. These armors give the player the enemy skills. In lieu of making a blue mage, we'll make the enemies drop an item 1 out of 100 that give the player the ability to, if they're wearing it, have the skills of that enemy. Which will be kind of neat, interesting idea. While we're here, let's add the chance for this armor to drop. The Vile Worm's Soulstone, 1 out of 100. Excuse me. The Cave Fox, 1 out of 100 armor. And the Vorpians, 1 out of 100. The Vorpian gets Pincer, Stinger, and Concentrate, so let's update that to Pincer. 26. Stinger, which is 24. And Concentrate, which is 27. So what are my numbers again? Pincer? 26, 24, 27. 26, 24, 27. And we'll let the Vorpian give something else. Let's say Concentrate is a bonus that gives to intelligence. So we'll say this gives intelligence plus 10, which is magic attack. Alright, we need to do 2 more. The Tunnel Rat and the Shadow Bat. The Tunnel Rat has Bite, Dirty Bite, and Dig. Armors. Copy this. Which is Bite, 28. Dirty Bite, 29, and Dig, which is 30. Oops. And we'll have defense on this one, so we'll say endurance plus 10, which is the defense. We'll need to change the Vorpian's icon. For magic attack, we'll make it this one, I guess, 33. And for the endurance, which will be defense, we'll make it this one, so 35. Okay, one more. Copy, paste. This is the Shadow Bat. We need to change the colors too. The Tunnel Rat will have more of a orange color. The Shadow Bat, I think this works good for the Shadow Bat. We'll change the Vorpian to be this color instead. Yeah. The Cave Fox needs to be more of an orangish color too. We'll make the Cave Fox this orange, and the Tunnel Rat will be something different. We'll make it this yellow. The Shadow Bat can have something different. Shadow Bat has the newest skills we made. Scratch, Blood Drain, and Darkwing. (32, 33, and 34). And we'll have them. Shadow Bat will give I guess agility as well, or a combination. Let's say 5 attack, 5 agility. That'll work. So 5 attack, which is strength, and speed, plus 5. We need the icon for strength and the icon for speed. Strength will be 34, speed will be 38. I'm sure there's some numbers mismatching in here somewhere, but we'll fix it. Tunnel Rat will get the defense, endurance. From the top, and look at the parameter changes, everything looks good. The names are all changed, the skills all change. Okay, they look good, they look fine. Now, we'll hit OK, save the game, award them at the beginning. Hey Joey. Hello, Puka. We're going to put them here for debug purposes. I'm going to just grant them to the player at the beginning. Cool. Now from the beginning of the game, let's go play around with these new skills. Let's equip them. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Why is that allowed on OC? Haunting Memory, Vile Worm, Cave Fox, Vorpium, Tunnel Rat, Shadow Bat. Very cool. Max MP looks like MP, Strength looks like Strength, Speed looks like Speed, Intelligence looks like Intelligence, Endurance. All this, the icons look fine. Scratch, Blood Drain, Darkwing, Bite. See, these are all custom skills that we made for the enemies, but now the player can use them. Very cool, but they have to decide what enemy they want to replicate. Let's make Edmund get the strength bonus from the Vile Worm, and then we'll give Doggo Bite, Dirty Bite, and Dig. Yeah, the Tunnel Rat. We'll give Jinx probably the MP one. We just tested it. So let's have her get the Vorpion. Cool. Let's go test out these new abilities. We have Sting available. That's his own move. Hit him with his own move. Pincer available. This generates TP. Bite. I love it. Ability. Fire Projectile. It reverses that. I was worried about the sprite not doing that. Raise your focus and okay, doubles your int for 5 to 10 turns. Yeah. There's a lot of MP for that. Dig is there, but he doesn't have enough MP to dig. So we'll just have him use Bite. Yum. Have him Sting. Take your own move. Pincer, Stinger. Let's use Stinger on him. Poisoned him, did damage, and got him. Very nice. Alright guys, I have to end the stream. I have to drive. We gotta spend an hour on the road. It's gonna be fantastic. That's gonna do it for this live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live first impressions for the video we played, or the game we played, A Matter of Time by Haywire Studios. And hopefully you guys had fun chilling with me, working on my project. It's still got a long way to go, but I do have to end the stream right now. So thank you guys so much. If you want to stay up to date on what I'm doing, you can join the Discord. The link is in the description below. I'm sorry about the ISP dropping a couple times for 20, 30 seconds. It's kind of out of my hands. We are switching to a fiber optic network as soon as it's available. Should be 2 or 3 more weeks. So that might be an upgrade. Well, it's going to definitely be an upgrade. But yeah, that's it. Come hang out on Discord. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Driftwood Gaming. Twitch.tv/Driftwood Gaming, where I live stream never. I always live stream on YouTube now, so I don't know why you'd follow me on Twitch. I guess in the future I may do dual live streams where I stream and it goes to both services. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Since I have a regular schedule now, 10 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday, I've been able to keep up with it. I might actually do Twitch Associates, or what is it called? Something like that, where I get a sub button like pretty easily. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes in the future. Right now, YouTube seems to be doing okay, for the most part, except for the copyright claim things on fair use videos. I appreciate you guys coming to the stream, and remember to stay awesome. Keep working on your project. If you're taking a break, chill, relax. Mac's all cool outside of the school, playing b-ball, all of that stuff that you do. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Stay awesome, guys. Have a good weekend. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, Saturday. I'm probably going to be playing Path of Exile. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just be chilling, playing Path of Exile. If you guys are interested in joining my Path of Exile guild, let me know in multiplayer chat. Bye, guys.